want to get it.
Wow, it's like a nice storm over there, huh?
Well, I did see storms on the radar, so.
I don't have a pin, but that's our rocket laser trail. That's all the way through. All the way through. That's all falling. And this would be the same mineral.
This one over here is filled up with water, but it's like 150 feet higher than that one.
Yeah.
Sediment. Metamorphosis. A lot of pressure, a lot of heat is applied, and that heat pressure that's applied
It's like everybody's gone home.
causes the configuration of the stone to change. Before we get wet upon it, I'm going to tell you what we're looking at. Off to your left is your original core. Kind of a nice emerald green. Beautiful. 300 feet of water.
Wow.
Then Mr. Smith moved into this area. 200 feet of water. And now they're coring out here in front of us. Left and right. Also, the derrick takes your blocks out of the core. Straight across that big derrick, the derrick operator is way down the road in the red building. Now, we don't use sound power poles. It's all instant. Gives hand signal to swing that derrick around to go down and get the blocks out of the core.
Oh, wow.
Now what about our workers? They don't climb the ladder system. They ride down in that yellow rider box. You see the yellow rider box?
I don't think so.
They hook that up 7
way.
o'clock in the morning on a work day, swing it around, and those workers, folks, are working down out of sight. I mean, we can't see the bottom, but get up here high enough, you would see where they're working. No, not today and not all week, sir. You've got that whole week off. They gave them the week following the 4th. Across the way, you can see where they're working, or where they have been working. All right, let me tell you what you're looking at over here. We take large blocks of granite out, we call benches. We work off what we call a bench. What is a bench? A bench is roughly 50 feet by 10 feet. We drill down 10 feet. We drill underneath that 10 feet, leaving a web of granite. We use explosives to shut the charge off, and now the big bench is free. Now let me point out a way in the corner in the bottom. That block is still sitting there. A little algae growing on the surface. It's 10 feet tall. It's roughly a 40 foot by 50 foot. That's a bench. Alright, or over here, looking at the derrick, to the right of the derrick, come down into that void. That block that sat in the corner would have been a bench. Come down this way, step down a foot or 2 feet, and that next flat surface would be another bench with that block that's broken out in the corner. Okay, now, the water comes from rainwater and snow melt. Granite works like a bowl. In other words, that's not porous. Unless there's cracks in the wall. And across the way, there is cracks in the wall. Because that black steam is groundwater that's running to the surface. That water in the bottom is milky green. The reason it's milky green is when we cut and drill, we have to get rid of the granite sill and the water. We pump it down, and there it sits. And it will leave when it evaporates, or it'll settle, and it'll look like this nice emerald green water way over there.
The far one's the original core?
That's correct, in the cut spot.
300 feet of water, you said?
No oil or fluid or anything like that. So environmentally, folks, let me tell you, granite is not a problem. limestone would be a problem. This was a limestone quarry, and we finished our operation like over here. We would have to back down. There is radon gas, which is a radioactive gas. It's formed in granite deposits. Not all granite deposits. Fortunately for us, we don't gas, because it would be a problem. Also, there'd be more problem if it existed here, if this quarry was a shaft quarry, in which we had to pump in fresh air. Here, this is one year.
Decades.
I don't absolutely. Every step would produce a bench, and every step across the quarry wall was 10 feet. Now, newer technology, if you look over there to these walls, straight ahead of us, some are very small. Over here on the left, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th bench down, you can see the drill scars. So that was drilled. But this is very smooth. So what's this technology? We're cutting with a diamond wire saw. I've got diamond wire right here, and I'm going to show it to you. All right. I'm going to show it to you before I hand it out to you. First off, every section like this is industrial diamonds embedded in a wire. If this wire was new, and I did this, we'd cut our fingers. Very flexible. That is the splice. Every section initially cost $10. Today, it's worth nothing. It's only good for me to show you. Obviously, I'm not going to show you anything that you're going to get cut with. So here's a section, here's a section, here's a section, and if you folks over there want a section, that would be fine. If you'd like a section, there you go. You've got a splice in yours. All right, very flexible. The messenger cable in the center is steel. And how does the diamond wire saw work? It works like a bandsaw. Continual loop of wire. Everyone's seen. Okay, I'll just put it back when you're finished. A continual loop of wire, and it's cut like a bandsaw. In other words, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill, still drill. I'm going to drill down my 10 feet. I'm going to drill underneath my 50 feet. I'm going to run this continuous loop over the top of the granite, underneath the granite, back to the diamond wire saw. 120, 130 feet probably. If you figure 50 and 50, 100, you got a 10, and you got another probably 20, you see. And it cuts very smoothly. A lot of water. This wire lasts probably, depending on the use, but anywhere from 2 to 3 months. So, it was expensive, I told you that. But because it's so efficient, there's little waste. You see, that's what we're going to use. Now we talked about cutting with laser. I have all the pieces to it.
I have a question. How long does it take to cut like through a slab like that with all those saws?
Okay.
Hours, days?
Days.
Days.
Days. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Maybe we've got to get back on the bus. I did not see it. If it wasn't there, I didn't see it. I'm looking down here. I wasn't looking up. They're usually 50 feet by 50 feet by 10 feet. And that's what they are right there. And they're about 50 feet. I mean about 50 tons. I did not see it. Where they started. Well, let me back up a little bit. And let me tell you something. Over in the corner, there was a derrick. So there were 4 instead of 3 that we see now. From the water, remember we looked down at the bottom, we saw the water? From there back to the wall, and over this corner has been about 8 years, removal. And we're down about 600 feet. Not from the surface down, but from the top of the hill. Right here, 2 years ago, all that construction over here hadn't even been done. It was all flat over there for. So that's 2 years. Our 2 summers, I mean, remember we're only working 9 months. We don't work January, February, and March.
But then how deep you go, that green little lake?
300 feet over there.
And what decides and then you stop?
Okay, the reason being, if you look across the wall below that big derrick, every bench is not completely vertical. You come down 10 feet, you're offset, offset, offset. So what are we doing? We're getting a coning effect with a small bottom.
Oh, okay.
And so when you get to that small bottom, you move over.
Okay.
Also, we're finding that we've got a lateral pressure problem. You don't want the wall to fall in. You want it safer. Now I saw it. You want to save it. I mean, you want to have it safe for your worker. So they never took the bench off the bottom. So what will we do, sir? What we'll do now with present technology, it's going to change. Technology is going to get better and better and better. That's right. Or we'll move the derricks back, and that's what we're doing now. But since I've worked here, and just in 15 years, that number 1 derrick was moved back. It was on this peninsula out further. The one in the corner was moved back. It's not even there anymore. Number 3 derrick hasn't been changed. Number 4 derrick over here where they're working today, that derrick, folks, is right at the edge of the court, but about 10 feet taller. Also, if you'd been back here 5 years ago, that derrick house for that derrick was sitting about 40 feet higher than it is right now. And all that granite in there has been removed and crushed because it's not quality stone. So everything over there is not quality. So to go down underneath, it's good, but from there up, it's got impurities in it. It's flaky. It's fractured. You got it. You know it.
Has that been the case all the way along? They've always had to take the first layers off to get to the good stuff.
Kind of yes, but not really. If we not, why I'm going to tell you why. Because over here on the right, we're fairly close to the surface. There's good stone there. There's good stone over there, quality. So sometimes you find in an area, man, that's good. But generally speaking, it's better down below. But let me tell you about that. They had dynamited so many years in the past over here that they finally get down, oh, this is good, but it's all fractured. So it's not, you see what I'm saying? You kill, you.
Oh, did you see that one, Eddie?
Yeah,
Did you get that one on tape?
I think so. Go ahead.
So it looks like there's a lot of granite here.
Pardon?
The resource of granite here is a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Like
2 miles by 4 miles by 10 miles deep, and they say if we could quarry 10 miles and extract all the good stone, we got 4,000 years of water.
4,000 feet?
4,000 years of supply.
Okay.
Down 10
A
miles.
long time.
Not 400 feet, down 10
10
miles.
miles. It'd be awful warm down there.
It would be. But, you know, and maybe you do and maybe you don't, but New Hampshire's a granite state. We've got a lot more granite quarries. We've only got in this state right now existing 3 monument quality quarries. We've got other granite that I said was professional for landscape. And some Woodbury. And we've got a lot of areas. There's a landscape stone quarry in Groton. There's quarries in Reigate. They aren't quarrying them anymore. They're gray. All gray here, but you get down to Bethel, Vermont, and then it's white. Like this little piece I showed you. Ma'am? No, New Hampshire, they have pink. And they've got white. And they've got, most of it is gray. But they've got pink, a lot of pink. In fact, I got a story if you want to hear it, if you don't hear it.
What's the story?
9/11. When, and we're ready to start. In 9/11, when they bombed or the plane ran into the Pentagon, that whole area, that whole side of the Pentagon, that steps, the steps were Columbia Pink Grant from Columbia, New Hampshire. We owned the quarry there, and we were using that stone for building stone at that point. Architects came to us. They said we got to replace the step. We got to use the same technology and not polishing. They you want to polish a step, slide, but you know, they're cutting it, so it looks old. All those old technologies are outdated because of OSHA, too dusty. And we don't have any machinery, and we don't have very many operators because most of them have passed away. So architects came, we found the block, they said you could cut that block by using old technology with an operator that knew how to operate the machinery in fresh air, not inside a building. They did it. And they shipped the block, replaced the step, and that was written up in the Smithsonian magazine. So sometimes there's good things that happen with bad things. I gotta go up and lock the gate. I decided to go public. Swenson's maintained 51% of the stock. They went public. They just come back to Swenson again. He bought up all the outstanding stock. And now the family owns all of it. They just tried going public and they felt it wasn't efficient. It was better to go family. So it probably doesn't make any difference to us, you know, we employees. But.
So what do you mean the mob ran this business for a while?
Yeah, the mafia did.
Huh.
That's right. The mafia owned it back in the 1950s. And they took the profit right out. And almost, this whole operation was almost defunct. With all that good granite, with that name over the years of Monument Stone, it was sad. These blocks have been inventoried. They will be used by us, or they'll be used by our competition. There's a U number out there, U letter and number, U1 actually, and it will tell you what year it took that block out of the court. Kind of neat. More ground. That can be crushed easily because it's right down here by the road. Someone asked me last time, this looks like the white. No, it's still gray. Only hasn't been weathered that long. And you also see pink out there. That's our Canadian pink. We just store it here.
Now the round blocks.
Yeah, those are press rolls.
Yeah, the press rolls. Do you cut them round?
No.
They start square?
No, they go square, and then we slab the corners like octagonally, like a stop sign. And then we put it on. Then we put it on the lathe, and we turn it on the lathe very slowly, and it cuts that nice cylinder. Now, there was old technology, and the old technology sent through the center a single shaft. There's some pressure. Well, there's one. You'll see more when you go down the hill. Single shaft. But we were having a problem with that because some of the shafts or some of the rolls were cracking. So now we've got a new design called Accutension. And Accutension design, instead of a single axle shaft, there's 14 rods that run through around the perimeter. You tighten the rods and there's less chance of the block splitting or cracking or whatever. And right here, Merv, as you look back on the end of these press rolls, and you can see the one closest to us, see the single plus a single in the center, but there's 14 around the outside perimeter. The others further over near the trees are the old technology, single shaft axle.
So now, is that something you sell sometime, or is it just...
Those are shot. Look at the end. They're all chipped off the end. I suppose you could cut that back where that chip. Something wrong with it, sir. So we're not going to sell them.
How long does one of those last newspaper industry?
They actually could last forever if they did. In other words, if they don't chip them, you know, you get them there, you set them up, and I mean that wood pulp's not going to hurt it any. In fact, there was I understand, one of the old press rolls was bought with a camp. One of these summer camps, they wanted a big old tower standing up in front, and I think they put on the top of a flagpole, and they had lights on the flagpole so they didn't have to take it off. But, you know, we gave it to them almost. But they had to pay to haul it. And that's the expense, transportation. 170 pounds a cubic foot. You can imagine. All right, down here on your right, you're going to see the blocks that have been sawed in our saw plant. Some of the independents can handle a big block. Some of them have to have it sawed. And there you see, different thicknesses, different colors. This one here is polished on the top. This one here is also polished on the top. Our Bethel white.
So is that red or pink?
That's all. That one back there is pink.
Pink?
Very dark pink though, man. This is light pink, but it doesn't look as nice if you polish it. Then you got a nice. It looks much better. This is our shipping area out of these two doors. And here's blocks, smaller blocks that have also been cut. We've taken some of these blocks out. They've already been, some of them have been sold. But if there's good stock left, they bring it back. This is Vietnam Memorial Stone right there on your left. And over here we've got some material that might make good granite countertops. The very thin ones up there on top. Again, we're not involved in granite countertops. However, we do saw the blocks and we sell them to the independents. In this building is our mausoleum building. This is our press roll building. This is where we saw the big blocks. And we saw them with 12 foot in diameter diamond saws, industrial diamond, plus diamond wire saws that I showed you.
Is that part of the same 25 workers that work in there?
No, in this court. In the plant here we got probably with all operations maybe 70 or 80. Yep. Now you get the big blocks on this side. Haven't been sawed. Well, some of them have been diamond sawed, haven't they?
And what typically are these used for? Blocks of this size?
Okay, these probably haven't been cut at all. They came out of the quarry like that. I mean, we cut them in the quarry. We brought them here. Then someone, independents, may buy that block. They want that size. Okay. We'll deliver it for them, or to them, downtown Barrie, or wherever. In fact, last summer, beginning of the summer, they were having a big block like that. It was going to Georgia by truck. Hauled all the way to Georgia for the granite indent. Sample bin there. We're open until 5. It's about 4:15 now. You can watch our video. If you want to drive to Hope Center,